Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us on this Labor Day Monday. Hope you're enjoying it. We know race fans are certainly making the most of it on Indy's West Side.
That's because today is the culmination of the biggest drag race of the year. The U.S. Nationals wrapping up this afternoon at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park. Rich Nye spent the day at the track following the new career of an Indiana racing legend.
Yeah, and he joins us live this afternoon in Brownsburg. What a beautiful day to be out there, Rich.
Oh, it's just gorgeous, Dustin and Felicia. This is the 70th running of the NHRA U.S. Nationals here in Brownsburg. Right now we're seeing some of the junior dragsters out there, the little guys. Some of these people are in their early teens at best, maybe even younger out here in the finals of their drag racing categories. And in the next hour, we'll see the finals in Pro Stock Motorcycle, Pro Stock Cars, Funny Cars, and the Top Fuel Dragsters. Now, certainly here in Indiana, most race fans know the name Tony Stewart. You certainly should know the name Tony Stewart, but you probably know Tony from Columbus, Indiana as a three-time NASCAR Cup champion and an IndyCar race winner. Smoke is now 53 years old, but a rookie driving a Top Fuel dragster. Tony took over the car that was driven last year by his wife, Leah. Leah is pregnant with their first child. A baby boy is due in mid-November. Tony advanced to the semifinals today. This is his race against Justin Ashley in the round of 8 this afternoon. Tony in the far lane in the red, white, and blue car. Tony runs 330 miles an hour in 3.7 seconds. Now, he was eliminated in the semifinals just a little while ago when his tires spun at the start. And I talked to his wife, Leah, about this new adventure for her husband.
Well, everybody likes a challenge, and specifically Tony. So, right, it's fair to say he's conquered a lot of those beasts and other types of motorsports. And he had so many questions about drag racing, and he was so inquisitive about what makes this sport so difficult. And from the outside looking in, it doesn't look really hard, and he has figured out firsthand how difficult it is. And he wanted to conquer that new mountain. And of course, building a team, having Matt as a teammate, and then getting out of my car, he just always wants more.
Tony's best finish is second this season, and he stuck around after being eliminated today to sign some autographs for race fans. We're back here live at Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park, getting ready for the finals. To be determined what's next for Leah. She said she would like to return to a Top Fuel dragster and maybe even race against Tony, her husband. Of course, that takes lots of money and lots of sponsorship. So that's to be determined, and also to be determined here in the next hour. Our champions this year in the U.S. Nationals, and I'll have that for you back here live at 5:30.
All right, we'd love to see the two of them race. Boy, they are the epitome of what you call a racing family. Rich, we'll see you at 5:30. Thank you.
That's awesome. All right, let's take a look outside. It was a beautiful day. I mean, let's just all have a moment for the sky.
Could we just take that in?
Moment. That's amazing.
And for a holiday, too. I mean, perfect timing, Angela.
Perfect timing. We had to dodge a little bit of rain as we started the long holiday weekend on Saturday. Otherwise, we've had plenty of sunshine and mild air, too. We're in the 70s across central Indiana, including 75 in Connorsville and Tipton, 73 in Crawfordsville, 76 Noblesville, and 72 at Morris Reservoir. Yes, a little cool for this time of year, but still plenty warm for some summertime activities. Mention the cool air. Temperatures are down 4 to almost 10 degrees from this time yesterday. We're down 9 in Indianapolis, down 4 in Lafayette, Kokomo, and Muncie, 7 degrees cooler in Bloomington, and we're 6 degrees cooler in Richmond. Temperatures this evening, upper 60s and low 70s. We're going to stay in the 70s through about 7, 8 o'clock, and then once the sun goes down, those temperatures will drop through the 60s. It's going to be cool out the door tomorrow morning as we all head back to work and school on a Tuesday morning. Maybe grab a sweatshirt. Early morning temperatures on the low side, most of us 50 to 55. Headed home tomorrow afternoon. Highs will be back into the upper 70s, close to 80 degrees. Bit of a warm up on the way for the middle part of the week. Our rain chances, however, don't return until specifically Friday. I'm going to have that look ahead for you in a few minutes.
All right, Angela, thank you so much. And whoop, there we go. The roads are a bit...
They're just waiting for you.
They are bare. They're waiting for you. The rest of us at work are waiting for the rest of you all to come back home. This is a look at I-70, I-65, the north split. We got to check the south split too. And somewhat similar. trailer. Okay, this
Wonder what
is
that truck's hauling.
I-65, I-70 South split. The truck's empty too.
Okay. I wondered. Oh my.
Oh, happy
right.
Labor Day, folks. Yeah.
Other news now, a Plainfield police officer is out of the hospital today, recovering at home after a chase that ended in a deadly crash. And we've also learned Benny and Barbara Williams are the names of the two people who died in that crash. It started when officers were called to a report of a person down at a Long John Silver's Friday evening. Then officers chased a suspect who they say drove away from the scene. The officer followed the suspect's car through the intersection at US 40 and Smith Road. That's when the police cruiser hit a car with Barbara and Benny inside.
Police tell us the young girl who drowned in a Greenwood pond this weekend was just 4 years old. It happened last night in a neighborhood near East Main Street and Chic Road. An officer jumped in to get her, tried to perform CPR, and then medics rushed her to the hospital, but she did not survive.
We've enjoyed this lake. We used to swim all the time before we had our pool. They still swim out there on the rafts and everything, you know. We try to watch out for each other too. You know, that's another thing. I mean, normally this just doesn't happen. I couldn't imagine that, you know, this did happen, but, yeah.
Police say the young girl was in town visiting family. When they could not find her, that's when they called 911.
Investigators just got a huge break in a 30-year-old cold case. The Johnson County coroner says they've identified some remains that were found more than 3 decades ago. They were first discovered in 1993, just south of I-65 and County Line Road. If you're familiar with that area, it is now the Oddie Golf Course. The coroner is now saying the remains belong to Michael Davis, who's from South Carolina. He was in his mid-20s when he died. His family hadn't seen or heard from him since the 80s. The cause of death has not been released yet, but we expect to learn more details in a news conference scheduled for Thursday.
Turning now to the presidential race, Vice President Kamala Harris now ramping up her attacks on Donald Trump by wading into that controversy over his trip to Arlington National Cemetery last week.
NBC senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez has the latest details.
With just 64 days until the election, the Harris campaign is ramping up a battleground blitz, including a rare joint event with President Biden later today in Pennsylvania after a stop in Michigan. Harris's running mate, Governor Tim Walz, heading to another crucial swing state, Wisconsin. Recent polling shows Vice President Harris doing better than former President Trump nationally and in key battlegrounds by a handful of points, but within the margin of error. Compare that with polling that mostly showed Trump with a narrow edge before Biden's departure from the race. But still, Harris has not seen much of a polling bump from the Democratic National Convention. Former President Trump is hoping to benefit in the polls from an updated indictment in the federal election interference case against him and defended his actions in an interview released overnight.
Whoever heard you get indicted for interfering with a presidential election where you have every right to do it, you get indicted and your poll numbers go up.
Harris now on offense, slamming Trump for disrespecting sacred ground, all for the sake of a political stunt. Her first time weighing in on the controversy over the former president's visit to Arlington National Cemetery. The Trump campaign posted this highlight video on TikTok, showing him laying a wreath in honor of the service members killed during the chaotic military withdrawal from Afghanistan. A cemetery spokesperson said federal law prohibits campaign-related activities there. But the former president posting a series of videos from Gold Star families criticizing the Biden administration.
You couldn't be bothered to be with us or even say our kids' names.
And Republicans are criticizing the president and vice president for not being at the event.
You know who the families also invited? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Where were they? Joe Biden was sitting at a beach. Kamala Harris was sitting at her mansion in Washington, D.C.
A White House official and a Harris aide deny the president or vice president were ever invited.
Back here in Indianapolis, a big honor tomorrow for the late Hoosier politician Richard Luger. The Richard Luger Monument will be unveiled at Bicentennial Unity Plaza, and former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice is expected to speak. The monument will eventually be installed in its permanent location at Luger Plaza, which is along the Indianapolis Cultural Trail. That's on the south side of the City County building. Luger died back in 2019 at the age of 87. He is considered to be one of the most influential politicians in state history as mayor of Indianapolis and then as U.S. Senator representing Indiana for more than 30 years. A new preschool on the Martin University campus is giving parents more options for free. The program is enrolling kids ages 3 through 4 at its Pre-K Care and Learning Center. It'll have sessions from 8 in the morning until noon, and then again from 1 to 5 in the afternoon. It's all free and open to the public, and if you'd like to register or have more information, we've got a list on what you need to do and find at WTHR.com.